Hello and welcome to Couch Time. I'm gonna need to find a little intro, aren't I? That was our intro for now.
Yeah,
so we're just sitting here today, me, Danielle, Smiley.
And me, Nicolina Shadic.
Shadic. We realised
that
I've always said her last name wrong.
Yeah.
Well, not wrong, but Australian.
Well,
very Australian.
Sarek is the Australian way and Shadic is the Croatian way.
Beautiful. Yeah, I like it much better. So, yeah, we thought we'd come together today, and couch time for me, it's about sharing what's within us.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be in the moment. It's about trusting yourself and sharing as... I've got this thing today. I keep doing the figure eight, as a connection thing. The infinity symbols, like we're connecting with being human. We're connecting with being our own self in our own soul and our own spirit.
And I think the connecting with others, like we were just talking about. Like I've been here for a couple of days, and it's felt very flowing and easy. The balance of like. Someone's making dinner and someone's doing the dishes. And it's like it hasn't at any time felt like someone's giving, it's like,
the give
should
and
I do
receive.
this? Or, it's just such a beautiful balance. And
it has been.
It's been quite harmonious, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really lovely, like watching that masculine and feminine for me. Like Tristan has, picked up, like, he knows, Nicolina, my friend is here. And, they're enjoying this time and they're going with the flow and being very feminine and doing our clay and doing our, chatting and going for lunch or whatever we're doing. And he's just picked up and gone, do you girls need dinner? And, let's do that. And he joins in when he wants to, but goes off and does his own thing when he doesn't want to. I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
It feels really lovely. I totally know we hold a really beautiful space for other people and it's through us trusting ourselves.
So beautiful.
It's really lovely. We did Nicolina did some yoga with us.
We did some yoga this morning, which was lovely, and it was really nice. I felt like I loved it because I felt like I was really doing it like for me, and then I was able to share it with others.
It was so beautiful.
Really connected into what felt right in that moment, and I love when I can teach like that because there's no schedule, there's nothing to follow. Like it's just feeling into what feels good at that moment, and a bit of playfulness, a bit of banter in there, and personalizing it. I
really like.
It's like I don't even know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do next, and just allowing it to flow out.
Absolutely. It's the best way, though, for me. That's the best way.
And it's because I'm feeling, really grounded, and I'm in my zone, and I'm with my people that, it's allowing yourself to just show up as you are
and be your true self, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for me, that because I know you are a yoga teacher, if you were to put that label on yourself, not really, but you're a yoga teacher, and I would want that in my yoga class. If I didn't know you as a friend and I turned up to a yoga class, I want that connection.
Yeah.
I want a bit quirky. I want, because that's who I am.
Because it's not just about the physical, it's about connecting to that spirit and to that soul connection, that playfulness.
That's right. And the times when you did bring in that playfulness, I noted in myself that I was actually becoming quite, like rigid in like, I've got to get a bit deeper into this stretch and I've got to take a breath, Danielle. And I was getting quite with myself, and then you would break that, like the NLP, break state thing. You would break that, and then I'd have a laugh, and then I'd just flow back into it and let myself go again, and so it would like, this contraction would happen, and then you wouldn't even know, but you would know because you're just feeling into the energy, and it's like, I don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't know why but it worked for me. I felt that so many times over. I was like, check. Just let go, Danielle. It doesn't have to be serious. Yeah.
And the importance, I guess, what's more important, to remember your lefts or your right?
Yeah.
Or to just be in the moment and be present and
That's
connecting to what we need right now in
Yeah.
this moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, again, breaking down the ego and being like, well, it's okay if I forget my left from my right in that moment.
That's right.
But yeah, just not taking yourself so seriously, and that's what's so beautiful about that practice this morning.
Oh, it really was.
Yeah.
And we were out in the yard, just on the earth, just allowing ourselves to enjoy the moment. There was nowhere else to be. We were not thinking about everyday things and what we need.
Yeah, they're really special.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice. And then the flow that you then continued on with us, and it's like, oh, you could do, partner yoga.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? And I realized my rigidness quite a few times in that, because I was like, what? And then I would go into, the what is it, like the relationship side of things, like, oh, I don't know if Tristan want to do that. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then I just dropped it and
listened. And what that yoga was about, it was about pairing up with someone, connecting with them. You're not allowed to talk to each other, but just like be present with each other and noticing what you need in that moment. And Danielle's like, so who leads? And I'm like, no,
get out of your head.
Just be in the moment and just go with the flow. And then slowly you start to move, and then you start to stretch each other's body. And you're moving in ways that maybe you haven't moved before, and you're feeling openings in parts of your body that you haven't felt before. So you're feeling it on a physical realm, but you're also connecting on like that intuitive,
definitely
that deeper part, and you're doing that with yourself and as well as with someone else.
Exactly.
So that's what I love.
Yeah.
I love about that. And then it's like it's something new and it's something different, and then you start to notice, like you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Noticing the little
nuances of each other. It like really opened a whole nother level to our relationship, ideally, and it's something that we will do again. Because I will speak to Tristan about that, definitely. But I felt, I noticed a few things. I noticed, so it's a great conversation starter too, that, connecting on such a different level, that there's things that will show up, because we can get so stuck in our everyday things in a relationship. And so to like throw something in new, it was like, I noticed a trust thing in myself, or in, or I noticed this nuance in his face, and I was like, oh, he's feeling uncomfortable there, and it's like, to do that, we were just saying before too, to do that, and then also do a bit of tantric, like breathing, like after you do that yoga together, just sit down, hold hands, look into each other's eyes, just take a moment to connect and breathe with each other. And then have a conversation, like, how was that for you?
Yeah, or I was really vulnerable in that space, and I felt safe to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Or I felt like really in charge in that moment, and felt really connected to what you needed. And or, and noticing, a bit of control came up.
That's right.
I have to kind of let that go.
Yeah. And how you do let those things go too, that was what was beautiful. It's like, I'm feeling like I want to control this, or I'm not, because I'm unsure, because it's something new. And then the minute that I'll go, and then I realize how much Tristan just steps back and lets me do and lets me unravel.
Yeah.
And take a breath. He knows I'll come back to my set, like I know he knows. Yeah. That feeling that I feel from him is, I know he knows. He knows just to give me space, and then
you're doing you.
I'm doing me. I'm doing me in all my weird craziness.
That difference between being in control and
right.
being in charge of
right.
that moment, and then being like, okay,
yep.
you've got your boundaries, you've got your rhythm, and you're able to kind of communicate in ways that without words.
That's right, yeah, that no one else would notice, but we have found a really beautiful space to do that. And I really felt that in that, because I felt myself go a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, this is new, I don't know what to do, and that's how I work. And then I'm like, okay, snap, take a breath, and then I think I remember hearing you say, don't think, and I was like, and just stopped the thinking, Then the connection happened. Tristan moved closer to me.
Yeah.
And then we started to move to, like, we both moved into each other.
Yeah,
like,
beautiful.
leaned in and then started moving with each other. It was really beautiful. I hadn't sort of noticed how much he does allow that in me. Just because I was doing it with you the other day. It's like, I'm not doing that because I don't want to answer you. I just have to take a moment in myself to bring it all together. Like, there's so many things going on in here. And then I take a breath and land it, and then everything works out.
Yeah.
It's quite bizarre, isn't it? We do have to trust.
And
trust
who
we are.
That presence of, like, sitting in, like, you talk about sitting in the throne. Like,
yes.
What is...
deep-seated self, you know? Really holding that space, because if we're not there, we're out.
Yeah.
And so many people, I was explaining before about what it is to sit in your throne, and you, like, take a deep breath and you really land. It's like, and you really land in yourself, and you trust in yourself, and you go within for your answers, not outside of yourself. But then I went, oh, hang on, most people aren't going to actually know what that feels like. So we're so used to living from outside of ourselves. So all the stuff outside, other people, events, experiences, all those things, if we're running out to that and grabbing at it and trying to work it out from that space, it's gritty and uncomfortable, and it's coming from fear most of the time. It'll be coming from fear, not from love.
And going into, like we spoke about earlier, going into that fight or flight. You're in fight or flight. And
I've got to work it out.
There's that hysteria going on,
gritty.
and it's like and then you're in your sympathetic nervous system, and your body starts to get inflamed, and then inflammation happens, and the disease happens.
That's
and then
right. It doesn't
autoimmune stuff happens, and it's like, oh, our body's just like spinning out.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then your blood and your cells and your body's just like reacting and trying to protect us.
Well, it's a dis-ease, isn't it? Like that dis-ease of we're out of our true self. We're off our throne.
Yeah.
So it's like coming back.
Coming back into ease.
Yeah, into yourself. Coming back in, sitting, owning, looking out at your kingdom over going out.
Yeah.
You know, looking out and holding from that space, and knowing that you've got an incredible space around you.
Yeah.
It's expansive as.
And I think sometimes we can forget it when we're so busy and we're doing things, but I think for me, I like it simplifying, like sitting back and just watching a leaf on a tree, and then connecting to the tree, and understanding what that how that comes to be, and the and then connecting to the trunk and the roots and
the natural of life.
Yeah, and the interconnection with other trees, and the fact that loses its branches, grows new leaves, drops the leaves, like it's constantly growing and changing. And then you come back to you and you're like, oh, okay.
And that's going to happen with you too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like,
and you realise,
we're going to break
a
branch off,
on.
you know, and sometimes we're going to need to go within and really nourish ourselves too, because we're going to be brewing something new. Yeah. Like these new little sprouts and new little leaves, and it's like we need some energy to do that. So we sometimes go within.
Or connect to our, people, our people that really, we feel safe with, and we can understand people that are kind of like plants do when they thrive around other plants.
They're networking. The mycelium, all of that, like that connection, the network. It's so beautiful, isn't it? I don't feel like as humans we give as much attention to the fact that everything's working in and for us and ourselves. It's our story. I always say it's like we're running our own movie. Yeah. We're in charge of everything. We're in charge of everything. We've got all the people going. We've got that bird flying across. We've got Millie's about to bark at some car because she wants to. Yeah. All of those things are happening for and with our movie. And it's like, okay, if you don't like what's in your movie, you're also in charge of changing that. Yeah. You're in charge of saying, I don't want to do it that way anymore.
I don't want to cast that person.
Yeah, I don't want to cast that with that. I definitely don't want to do that for certain, things. But we chose it. We chose it, and thank you.
What's the lesson?
That's
what
right.
Did we learn? Oh, how can I
and then we'll shift it up.
Yeah.
Shift it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that being in charge as well, isn't it?
For sure.
And sitting at your throne so you can see it through truth, not through chaos. You know, when you're outside of yourself and you're trying to make shit work, it's chaos.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting here, it's like, oh, I can see and when I can see my truth and sit at my throne, so can you.
Yeah.
So then our connection and our workings with each other is from a very different level and from so much more truth. I absolutely love it. It's my favourite place to be.
What tool do you use to connect and sit in your truth? Like if there's a moment where
I'm out.
So you're out, how do you connect and sit?
Breath is probably my biggest. So it's like I'll feel that that I'm doing, and then I'm like, I have to, I guess, at first of all observe myself and notice and have a thing that I want to pick that up in myself because I don't like it. I don't want to be out. Anytime I'm out, pick yourself up. And so there'll be something that happens that picks me up and I go, I'm out. And so I'll just, it's like I take all of my energy and I bring it to here instead of it all being out and running riot. I will bring all my energy to me. I even will rub my heart a lot and then just close my eyes, take a breath. I breathe down into my roots and become my tree. You know, really open. And it only takes 2 seconds, you know, to... And then it's like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm back on my throne. From this space, how do I feel about whatever it is that I was just manic and losing my shit about, you know? And then work from there. It's for me, it's quick. It's a practice thing, though. I've practiced it all day, every day. It's something that, like to create a habit, you have to do it over and over again. Yeah.
And I think it's important as well not to beat yourself up because I know sometimes I can be like, oh my God, I'm so out of my body or I'm so like out of whack. And it's like, I need to like just... You know, I need to do like a 7-day like
go hammer and
detox and like click. But maybe I just need to breathe.
And like, you just need to breathe
and be, you know, like be kind to myself and be like, it's okay, like
exactly.
We've got this.
I see you. I guess is a lot of the time, like, you know, to yourself. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, or I feel you. I feel that we're out right now, being. You know, I feel that that's okay. That's okay. And what can we do? Okay, so the little steps, as much as I go, breathe, bring it all in, like, you know, boom, 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 space. It's even the little steps. It's like I'm out, even if it doesn't get you, you know, it might be, I'm just going to go for a walk because I can, in walking, I feel the movement. I feel myself. I can start to actually clear my mind. I can actually start to come back to my centre. Yeah. So it might be a walk. It might be...
And it changes your environment.
That's right.
Putting on a song.
That's right.
Or saging or...
Exactly. All of those things.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, but just start to walk back to your throne.
Yeah. And I've been finding lately of like really like feeling into my body and saying thank you. Like,
that's right.
Thank you. Like being like...
I love it.
Like you're amazing. Like, you know, really starting to love that.
Yeah.
Love that part. And then it's like, and then everything else just settles in.
It does. It totally settles in. It really does.
Yeah. It's a bit like clay. I know we've been playing with clay this week and I love clay because it's such an expression. It's an art expression and I guess we are constantly creating art. We're constantly curating what's going to be exhibited at our, whether it's a gallery or in this world
in
that
our
we live
experiences.
In our experience. And I love clay because it's like you can do it in so many different ways. Like, you know, it's like you can be a baker or you can be a cook. A baker is very measured, very perfect, very like it needs to be a certain way.
Yep.
A cook... I'm probably more of a cook. I like to just throw things together.
Oh, I'm definitely
and use cook. What I have, and you know, and like let the magic happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it does.
Yeah,
and that's okay. But I love clay because it's just such a beautiful expression.
It really
when
is.
You can really allow it, and not really have. You can have a bit of an idea. Like we want to.
I definitely had an idea.
Yeah, we knew that we wanted to do.
The pendant lights for our new home.
Dan's new home.
We're renovating.
Yeah, and but we kind of had a bit of an idea.
Yeah.
And it did it.
And I like
sketched it out.
Magic.
You know? Yeah.
The magic of the idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's like nothing's attached to it.
Yeah.
It's just,
this vision dropped in.
That's right. And we could, especially because we're both potters.
Yeah.
We both love to play, and we're together.
Yeah.
Like, we had this most amazing thing. Nicolina's coming here for, the weekend or whatever, and all of a sudden there's a mud trail on, which is something where you can go and have a look at all the potters around the area and go and experience they have
their spaces,
little shows, experience their shows and ask them questions. And we're just like, what? We both love pottery. We happen to be in the same town where it's happening at the same time. And boom,
great.
We were in flow and it happened. And then, you've come here and now we've making some beautiful lights that I had not even thought to do.
Yeah.
Not even thought about it. It was like I was going to the light shop.
Yeah.
Totally going to the light shop. I'm buying stuff. I'm, I don't know, in that logic human thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, we've actually got this most incredible thing that we can make. We can make it. So we had
a lump of clay.
From a lump of clay.
You get to
a lump of clay.
Roll it into some coils and then create something.
Create.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was the only thing we sort of said, wasn't it? We're going to do it. We're going to do coils.
Yeah, so we knew what we wanted to kind of do. We knew what process.
We knew there was going to be
and it was kind of cool. So there was like we were in charge. I guess we were but we weren't necessarily going to control.
Not at
all
all.
The shapes to be exactly the same, but allow it to flow.
Yeah.
So we built up some from bottom ups. We built some from top down, and
and even that, isn't it? It's finding out who you are, because you're like, why are you doing it that way? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just doing it because otherwise, whatever's going to happen,
I'm like, cool. I'm going to try that for the next one. And it was like, playing with that, and they've turned out awesome.
They look mind-blowing, amazing, and because they were so natural and so in flow, and if something didn't go right, that's okay. It doesn't matter. That's right.
We'll just do another one.
Like
even we're talking about like even once you've glazed them and you've got them up, and it's like if you don't like them, we can
do another.
Put another colour on it,
That's
or
right.
make another one, or without being so attached to it. I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can understand artists when they spend, days and weeks,
That's right,
a year on pieces, and it's like there's so much more that goes into it. But clay play, I feel like you can just really just have fun with it, and
it's totally been. I've noticed in art wise, in all different mediums, that I'm very particular, and I have I want it to look like this, and I can't make it look like that in all other areas of art. Yeah. And so I just don't do art. I'll colour in. I'll colour in those adult colouring in books. And they make me happy. Yeah, they make me very happy. But when I found clay, it was totally different. Like, if something doesn't work or if it cracks in the kiln, I am not attached to it. I'm just like, okay, that's done. And whatever that was. But the process, I'm very free-flowing. It's like, I want a mug, but then I think I want a mug that looks like whatever, and then the mug comes out totally different, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so happy to have found clay.
And it's funny, some of those pieces that you think, oh my God, that is so bad, that's so wrong, or that was a mistake.
That's
Everyone's like, oh my God, I love that bowl.
Incredible.
That's amazing. I'm
like,
oh my God, this is actually like a bowl gone wrong.
That's right. I sell them first. It's so weird because I don't like them, so I don't want them, so I'm not attached to them. So it's like, they're gone.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, isn't that funny? Because if you try and you create this piece and it's like, I'm going to sell it, and it's like you just can't sell it.
No.
But then you put, oh,
I don't like
and then
that.
it's gone. It's like you're not attached to it. So
it totally goes.
So what other parts in our life are we so attached to certain things, to a certain outcome? What if we're like, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. Set it free. And then next thing, it all just happens for you.
We've definitely, building this house, we've definitely found, and you and I were talking about it the other day too, found the space that I used to be a hammer and tongs girl, like just smash it out. If I had an idea, boom, it's happening. I'm in there, bullet a gate. And I just bang, 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 and ideally now that I'm feeling into it right now, it's sort of forceful space. And we moved here and we're living in our home that only has walls on the outside, you know. It's a like total renovation space. So we're living here, which we could go into Bullita Gate because we're living here like we're camping and go crazy. We've got to get walls. We've got to have a room. We've got to, you know, we've got to do. But we've said that's not how we're going to do things anymore whole lot of life.
But I think as well, like you have moments where you're in a rhythm and you're like, let's smash, and you do it. You'll smash out a room in a day, and you're like, we did that. That was so good fun, and we really smashed it out.
But it wasn't a necessary thing.
Yeah. And I think it's cool to. It's I'm so excited for you guys because it's a space that you get to kind of curate in your own way. It's a piece of art that you get to. It's like clay. You get to mold it, but I think with clay, you need to be patient with it. You need to give it time to, you know, dry a little bit so that you can then shape it, and then dry a little bit more so that you can, you know, make sure that the joints are all right, and then you dry it a little bit more so that it doesn't dry too quickly and it cracks.
Turn it around,
and then you can kind of smooth it over and burnish it, and then it takes form. And then you have to fire it in a kiln, and it takes, you know,
my favorite
24 hours.
Yeah. With grace, you know, like grace is my favorite. Grace is in my world so often, and it's that because you take the time, you take the breath in between, you don't just bum 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 bum.
Yeah,
it's like, to me, that's that orgasmic living as well, over climatic living, basically, holding it all together in that, having that free flow. And you can take a breath. Like, so we've changed so many things. We've gone, we're doing this, and you feel the Bullita Gate thing.
Yeah.
And then we've just gone, hang on, we'll just take a breath. Or something might not have worked, so we'll just take a breath. And then we'll come around and have another little chat about whatever, and then we're doing something totally different. Yeah. And then it's like, oh my God, that's so much better. Yeah. Like, I'm glad we took the time.
Yeah.
So, in everything, slow down.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Enjoy what you're doing, what's right in front of you.
And I think, discerning when the right time is to make that decision.
Yes.
Like, even the potter that, I can't remember his name, is an amazing potter, and he was talking about sometimes you can spend hours on a wheel creating a pot, but then you sort of become attached to it, and it's like, I should probably, you know, throw this out, but it's like, I'm going to see how it goes. And so he talked about how he usually makes his decisions after he's bisque fired the piece, because he's less attached to it at that point.
Yeah.
And by the time it's bisque fired, you're like, I don't need that one. And then you can...
It's done.
And then you can reuse the clay, you know, because you can... whereas trying to make that decision in that moment, it's like, maybe it's not the right time to make that decision.
Because you're so attached to, like, you're so in it. You're in it. And it's like, take a step back, take a breath. Yeah. That's that thing about the throne. Like, you know, just take a breath, just step back.
And that's where I love, like, even sometimes when you might come into conflict with another person, sometimes you need space.
Definitely.
To be like, let me just sit on that.
Yeah.
And then you can come back and be like, this is what came up for me. And how does that make you... You can discuss it in a totally more harmonious way, I guess.
We can own your own part in it. You're not caught up in the emotion and
we could be like, I was being a real bitch in that
that's
moment.
right.
Like, well, that wasn't really fair of me to say that.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can assess yourself, like really look at your truth too, and then get it back in your throne and see it from the truth, and then share with somebody else. Far out. How crazy is that? Well, that is time to wrap up.
So what is, it is, and it's like, I love that, the difference between, what did we say, difference between control?
Yes, control and being in charge of yourself. Yeah, there's a big difference. So, see where that shows up for all of you. We actually did record a whole other half an hour talking about being in control and charge. And it didn't work.
Yeah,
so
it was hilarious.
Here's round 2. And we love you all. And thank you for being beside us on the couch and having a cuppa with us.
Love it.
There'll be many more couch times. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dan, for having me.
Thank you. It's an absolute blessing. Mwah.
Love you.
We have everything inside us to shine. So let's
You.
You.